Hey friends, welcome back. So today I have another mobility workout for you. Today we're going to be focusing exclusively on our hips and our lower body in general. So we're going to be doing some active and dynamic stretching, and this is going to be perfect for before a workout, especially if you're doing a lower body workout. This will be great, but you could also do this at any point in time if you want to break in the day and just spend a few minutes stretching out those hips. They kind of get really tight, or you can do this at the end of your workout. All right. You're not going to need any equipment, a mat maybe, especially if you're working on a hard surface. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start with one of my favorite moves, inchworms. So you're going to stand at one end of your mat. Make sure that you've got a tight core so your hips aren't dumped forward. You're bringing that belly button towards your spine, tucking your hips under ever so slightly. You're going to bend over, reach to the ground. You're going to walk yourself out into a high plank. Now from here, I want you going into a low lunge, left leg. So you're gonna bring your left leg onto the outside of your left hand. Now we're gonna hang out here for just a little bit, and you can see I'm rocking forward and backward ever so gently. Now from here, I want you dropping your right knee. So you're dropping that back knee. Make sure you're facing forward, and we're gonna get our hip flexors. So you're gonna push your hips forward. And then as you come back, we're gonna get the back side of our legs. So you're gonna bring your butt towards your heel, and you're gonna lean towards your toes. But you'll notice my back is flat, do not round. So keep that back flat, and now you're gonna repeat. So you're gonna lean forward. When you lean forward, you wanna feel a stretch on your right side. So in the front of your right leg, you're not gonna feel a stretch so much here. And now hip flexor, or excuse me, we're gonna get the calves and hamstrings. And we're just gonna alternate here. So I'm keeping this active, like I said in the beginning. If you're doing this before a workout, it's important that we do some more dynamic stretching. We get the blood flowing to the muscles without overly stretching them too much. Okay, now before we move on, you're gonna take this left leg and you're move it farther out to the left. So now we're at an angle, and you're gonna get inner thighs. So this is gonna get the adductors of the left side. Just gonna rock back and forth ever so gently here. Awesome, now bring that foot back. Now I want you to go into a modified pigeon. So what you're going to do is you're gonna take this left foot and you're gonna bring it on the right side of your body very carefully, like this. It doesn't have to be directly across. Go with what your mobility tells you, but watch those hips. Make sure the hips are facing the floor, so don't let them rotate out. Now you're gonna gently bring yourself towards the ground. This is about it. You're gonna feel a nice stretch through the hips and the glute. And then I'm gonna come back up. I'm gonna lean forward, intensify that stretch for just a few seconds. I'm gonna come back up. I'm gonna lean forward. And that is good on that side. So now we're gonna carefully go back into a high plank. Walk your hands back to those feet. Very carefully stand up and reset yourself. So watch the core, make sure the hips aren't dumping forward. Belly button to spine, tuck the hips a bit. Now we're gonna repeat, but on the right side. So bend forward, reach the hands towards the ground. Walk your hands out into a high plank. Right leg, low lunge. So right foot outside of your right hand. Now from here, we're gonna gently rock back and forth. Just a few times. Now drop that left knee to the ground. And we're gonna go into this hip flexor. So we're leaning our hips forward, and again, you're gonna feel a nice stretch on the front of this left leg here. Now come back for calf hamstring. So back is nice and neutral, butt towards your heel, and we're gonna repeat. Holding each move for just a few seconds. Keeping it nice and dynamic. Couple more. Now before we move on, you're gonna take this right leg, move it farther out to the right, and now we're at an angle, and this is where we get the adductors. So we're still leaning forward here. Coming back to the start, leaning forward, feeling a good stretch in those inner thighs. Good, and now pigeon. So take this right foot, bring it to the left side of your body, hips are facing the floor, and lean forward. Come back up, lean forward again, come back up, lean forward for the last time, come back up, back into high plank, hands back to your feet. Awesome, so that was the first part of our mobility warm-up. Now we're gonna continue on. So what I would like you to do is you're gonna be standing for this, have your feet about hips distance apart between hips and shoulder, and you're going to forward fold. So you're gonna reach for those toes. Now I said reach. If you can't reach your toes, that's okay. When you bend over as much as you can, what I want you to do now is sink into a squat. You're gonna take your elbows and you're gonna put your hands together, elbows on the inside of your knees, and you're gonna press your elbows against those knees. So you're gonna feel a nice stretch in those inner thighs. And then you're gonna come back up. So now you're gonna go back into that forward fold and then go back down into the squat. We're gonna alternate here a few more times. This is getting on our inner thighs. It's warming up the hips. When we are here, it's getting our calves and hamstrings. Go back down. Really press your elbows against your knees. Use your body to stretch. Couple more. Forward fold. And back down. And we're gonna do one more. Forward fold. Back down into that squat. Forward fold, and then gently come up. All right, now we're gonna get the glutes a little bit more. So for this one, it's gonna require some balance. So feel free to use a wall, a chair, anything you have for support. You're gonna use your left leg, cross your left ankle over your right knee, and you're gonna push your hips back. Now, like a lot of these, I'm asking you to keep that back neutral. So don't round the back. You're gonna keep the back nice and neutral so that way you feel the stretch. You're gonna feel a good stretch through the hips and the glutes. Now you're gonna come back to the start and you're gonna repeat, but on the right side. We're gonna keep alternating. Like I said, use a wall, use a support. I'm gonna show you in just a second how to do this on the floor. If standing is just too much, that's okay. We can modify. We're gonna get one more on the right side here. Press back. All right, now I'm gonna show you modification. You can do this on the floor. Same rules apply. Cross that left ankle over the right knee, but now you're gonna bring that right knee towards your chest. And then switch. Now bring that left knee towards your chest. If you need extra, you can put your hands behind that left knee and pull towards your chest a bit. Same thing on this side. Pull towards your chest. Good. Now we're gonna hop on up. We're gonna do a lateral lunge, focusing again back on those adductors. So they tend to get really tight. So it's important that we stretch them out so we can get the most out of our lower body days, whether that's squats or deadlifts or lunges. We're just going side to side here, and we want you to feel a good stretch in those inner thighs. You may not be going as low as me, and that's okay. Just a few more. They should feel pretty good. All right, now we're gonna work on opening up the hips a little bit more. So what I want you to do, again, this is gonna require some balance, so make sure you have something close by that you can hold on to for support. One leg at a time. Bring the knee towards your chest, and then open up the hips. And then repeat on the other side. If you want some added support, you can grab that knee and help pull it. Doing great, so this is really good. We're working the hip, moving throughout that joint a little bit. 2 more, 1 more. Now we're gonna do something similar, only we're gonna get a bigger range of motion. So you're gonna kick that leg all the way to the back, all the way front. This requires some balance as well, so as I kick the wall. That's okay. This may feel a little uncomfortable, the hips might be tight, that's okay. Just the more you do it, the better it will feel. 1 more. Awesome, okay. Calves. So, another muscle that tends to be really tight. Only thing you need here is a wall. What I want you to do is start with that left foot. Put toes toes on the wall, try to bring your heel as close as you can. Now you're gonna bring your hips towards the wall, and you're gonna feel stretch throughout that calf, but pay attention. What is your supporting leg doing? I don't want you pushing through those toes, because now what you're doing is getting that calf tightened up. So make sure this foot is flat. You can bring it closer if you need. Now we're gonna repeat. So because this particular mobility routine, I'm designing it before your workout, we're not holding these stretches very long. We're keeping it active and we're keeping it very dynamic. If you are doing this after a workout, or if you're not doing it before a workout, you're just doing it to do it, you can spend a lot longer on these moves. You can hold the stretch. Okay, couple more. I like to do some ankle rolls to get the ankles going, because a lot of us do, for our lower body days, we like to squat. So it's important when we squat, we're moving in a few joints. We got the ankles moving, we got the knees moving, we have the hips moving. So it's important that everything is moving correctly. If we're really tight in any one of those areas, it can really throw off that movement. Okay, so now the last two moves that we are gonna do, it's more of a warm-up exercise. So we're gonna start with a good morning to a squat, which if you've done any of my videos, you know I do these all the time. So what I want you to do, you're gonna hinge at the hips, so you're pushing your hips back, pivoting in the knee, but not squatting. Once you can't push your hips back anymore and you feel stretching those hamstrings, come forward, squeeze the glutes. Now from here, you're gonna sink down into a squat, come back up, and we're gonna repeat. So we're getting a body weight version of moves that we'll probably be doing in our workouts, right? We'll probably be doing some form of a squat, if that's a lunge or a squat, some form of a hip hinge. Hopefully you're incorporating that as well. So all this is doing is warming up the joints, getting them prepared. And it's also helping getting our heart rate up just a little bit, getting our body prepped. Last one, done. Okay, one more move. We're gonna do a reverse lunge to a balance. I like to incorporate this one because not only does it warm up the body, but it's also forcing the core to work. So you're gonna start, left leg steps back, right leg is forward. Come on up, bring the left leg towards your chest and hold, and then repeat on the other side. So we're alternating legs here. You're stepping back into that reverse one, coming up and hold. So this is not only warming up the legs, it's also warming up the glutes because you're having to stabilize. And it is also getting that core engaged. Last one. Good. That is it. Super quick, super easy. That just goes to show you, whenever you've done my videos and I'm like, hey, spend 5 to 10 minutes doing some active dynamic stretching, this is what I'm talking about. Take this, use it before your lower body days, use it to just refresh yourself during the day, or do it after. I hope this helps, and until next time, see you later.